Hello and one and all, and welcome back to yet another movie review. And I shall be reviewing the fourth Indiana Jones film that came out in 2008. That is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is once again directed by Steven Spielberg, and of course stars Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. And like with the original trilogy, this is going to contain spoilers. So you have been warned, so let's talk about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, this is probably one of the most unexpected sequels because Last Crusade ended the trilogy perfectly. It did, without a doubt. It really just ended it wonderfully. Just the four characters riding off to the sunset. And the music playing dun 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 dun. It was all perfect. But then somehow they made this movie. Yep. So we open up with the usual Paramount logo, the classic Paramount logo. In fact, that opens up with these sort of meerkats coming out of the sand, whatever they are. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments what they are. I'm pretty sure they're meerkats. And then you see these teenagers having fun driving in this car. And we're introduced to not Nazis, but Russians. The Russians are the baddies of this movie. They are, of course, going off to Area 51. And then we're, of course, introduced to Indiana Jones. I like the introduction for Indiana Jones. You know, they're showing his hat. He's putting the hat on in the shadow. And yeah, I like all the introductions that they do with him, and I hope they continue it with Indiana Jones 5. You know, those good things about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, we'll discuss about them. So basically, we're introduced to Mac, who calls him Jonesy, gonna be alright, mate. Yeah, Mac's not a very good character at all. He's just if I was to think of a Jar Jar Binks of the Indiana Jones, it's him, because he's just constantly like, Jonesy, just, alright, it's Indy, or Dr. Jones, whatever, okay? So eventually they're going into Area 51, they're looking at all these boxes, they're looking for this silver magnetic coffin. And then all these spoons, forks, whatever, are magneticing on the coffin, whatever. And so there's action going on throughout the scene, and we are, of course, introduced to the main villain, Spalkle, if I mispronounce her name right, who is played by Cate Blanchett. Yes, Irina Spalkle, that's the villain. I think she's a brilliant actress, but horribly miscast here. Yeah. And so there's some action going on, and the action's fun for the most part in Area 51. You know, I like how Indiana Jones is swinging back onto one of the Russians' cars. It's fun. You know, and knocking the Russians out. It's fun. And you do get to see a glimpse of the Ark. This is making a cinematic universe. Come on, new installments. Anyways, and you get a cool fight scene against the against Indy and the tough Russian bad guy. I don't think there was ever a tough bad guy in the Last Crusade. There was in Raiders and Temple of Doom, but not in Last Crusade. Although it's probably my favourite, but there was no tough bad guy in that one. But in this film, there is, that being the big Russian dude himself. And they have a cool fight scene. I like that. You know, they're going on this sort of rocket to escape Area 51. And then basically Indiana Jones is going to this nuke town where we lead into our first stupid scene of the movie. You know, he's looking at all these fake people, there's this TV on, all these statue people, there's this kind of fire alarm going off, and basically he realizes it's hell, and basically he's going in a fridge and flies all the way, and just he survives it. Like, you're expecting someone, if someone ever went in that, you're expecting to have someone be dead in that scene, but no, Indiana Jones survives it, and yeah, just refrigerator scene, just watching it, I'm just like, come on, what kind of idea is this? And we are of course introduced to our main sidekick of the film, Mutt Williams, who is played by Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a completely trash character. I wouldn't say he's like a rubbish character. I just didn't really need the character at all. I think just also, why is he called Mutt Williams? Because throughout the movie they're preferring him as his Indiana Jones's son, and having Mutt Williams as, and having Indy and Marion as Mutt's parents. Shouldn't they call him Mutt Jones instead of Mutt Williams? I don't know. Of course, you do see pictures of Marcus Brody and Henry Jones. They have both passed away in chronologically throughout this film, and you know, there's this new character that is kind of the new Charles. Yeah, he's kind of the new Marcus Brody in the college, whatever. And you know what? I don't mind the scene in when Mutt Williams and Indy are in this diner. There's all these guys wearing these blue jackets, you know, and there's a cool fight scene in there. It's fun for the most part. The opening of the first half of Crystal Skull is fine at points, but I like the motorbike scene that they have. You know, the music's good still. This is the weakest John Williams composed Indiana Jones score, but it's not bad. It's still good. It's still good. You know, John Williams is doing his best. You know, although he is starting to lose ideas as these new films are coming out, but I think Indiana Jones 5 is probably going to be his last thing he'll ever compose. But yeah. And of course, you know, you get this motorbike scene, and it's fun. It's fun and entertaining for the most part, you know. And they, of course, go to South America. You know, they're trying to find this guy, Oxley, who is played by John Hurt, who's a brilliant actor. Love John Hurt to bits. Again, here he is miscast. He is a character that just has lost his mind or memory, whatever. You know, they're basically trying to help him, and this whole Henry Jones Jr. thing, I'm just like, really? Shouldn't we only have used that joke in Last Crusade? Because that worked perfectly. In here, it just feels very bland. And of course, you know, Marion returns, and I like the reaction that they and Indy have when they see each other again. It's cool. And you know, of course, they're both stuck in this sand that is sucking themselves in, which is giving them yet again a callback, another callback, might I add, to Indiana Jones's fear, snakes, and they're preferring it as the rope so that they can take him out without them saying it's a snake, it's a rope. Then of course you do get the chase scene of the movie itself, as every Indiana Jones film does have a chase scene. This chase scene, I find it kind of disappointing. The way it looks is very green screeny. It just doesn't look very good to look at, and the way the movie looks as far as cinematography goes, it's very clean, fresh and polished compared to the other Indiana Jones films, because whenever Indiana Jones is constantly getting out of water, his jacket looks very clean. Just look at the original trilogy. They look so dirty and just they look dark. Just this film wasn't. This is easily the most uh, cinematography clean Indiana Jones movie. And yeah, you know, and Mutt Williams is of course climbing with CGI monkeys. Yeah, CGI monkeys. Need I need to say more? Yeah. And of course you do get another fight scene with Indy and the big Russian himself. And they're going off to find the other skeleton body to put the crystal skull in. And so that can kill Irina Spalko. Yay! And again, this whole just Henry Jones Jr. thing, I'm like, come on, why are they calling him that? Are they like using it because they're going to call Mutt Williams Indiana Jones Jr.? I mean, come on. Just so many callbacks. Okay, we don't need to go back to older characters. We don't need to go back to the arc. It's cool to see the arc. You know, it's cool to know that the Ark of the Covenant was put into Area 51. It was a cool homage, and I understand that Indiana Jones is trying to get over characters that are no longer with him, like Henry Jones and Marcus Brody. But I just don't need all this reference cinematic universe type of thing. I just want to focus on the story itself. But the story here isn't very good. In King with the Crystal Skull, it's all over the place, you know. Just the Crystal Skull looks very bland compared to the other idols in the original trilogy. And I do like how Indiana Jones and Marion are married. You know, they're getting married. You know, it's cool. You know, I like that they're having a wedding so that they can spend time together. You know. And whenever Mutt Williams picks up the fedora hat, I'm just like, really? Come on. But okay, Indy still has the hat, thank goodness. And we're still getting Indiana Jones 5, not Mutt Williams and the whatever the idol's going to be they're looking for. Just come on. If you're having Mutt Williams as Indiana Jones's and Marion's son, why not call him Mutt Jones? But yeah, there are some good things in here. As I said before, the opening, the first half is fine. You know, the action in Area 51 and in the diner and the motorbike scene, they're good. They're good action. There's good action in there, you know. And Harrison Ford is doing a fine job as Indiana Jones, you know. He's doing his best. He's giving his all. But overall, guys, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a big disappointment compared to the original trilogy. I know there's fans of this movie, and if you like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that's fine. That's great. But I just think this is pretty awful when you look at it as an Indiana Jones film. You know, just, you know, it's the least violent and probably the one that would show the most at special schools. Yeah. Anyways, but overall, guys, this is a big disappointment. I wouldn't call this movie garbage or rubbish. I just think it has some ideas that are fine, you know, but I just think, why make this as a fourth Indiana Jones film? and yeah. Overall, I'm not a fan of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and as far as letter grade scales go, I'm going to give Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull a C-. There you go, guys. That was my review on Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Comment down below, let me know what you've thought of this movie. You know, what you've thought of it, and let's have a great discussion in the comments below. And that's the Indiana Jones reviews done, the Spielberg Indiana Jones films, because I know he's not directing Indiana Jones 5. James Mangold is. I hear he's an amazing director. He's done Logan. I look forward to see what he does for Indiana Jones 5. The title hasn't been confirmed yet, but I'm still intrigued anyway. And hopefully it's more dirty looking than King of the Crystal Skull is, because yeah, anyway. But I hope you guys have enjoyed my Indiana Jones reviews. I sure did. Well, the original trilogy for the most part, but as always, if you are new to my channel, I'm a movie reviewer from the UK that likes to review movies and classics, especially when a new movie comes out. But as always, guys, if you're new, please feel free to leave a comment, click like and smash subscribe, share this video, notify that bell before you leave. All of my social media links will be in the description down below. And as always, until my next video, I shall see you then, and peace.